Have you ever tried to talk to a gun-toting NRA member about gun control? I have. And even after a mass shooting, the conversation usually goes like this. Gun freedom. I'm gonna win this shit.
Let's get ready to rumble!
So tell me, why do more people die of gun violence in America than in any other developed country in the world? That's just the price we pay for freedom, okay? And besides, guns don't kill people. People kill people. They do it with knives and even with their bare hands. Are we gonna ban all knives? Or what? You're gonna cut my hand? You know, hammers kill more people than guns do. Are you for real? People with guns kill a lot more than people without guns do. Nearly 70% of all murders in America in 2012 were committed with guns. And having a gun in the home also doubles the risk of homicide, triples the risk of suicide, and significantly increases the risk of accidental death by gun. I mean, in 2012 alone, 259 children died after being accidentally shot in the home. That's 9 times more than anywhere else in the developed world. So yes, guns kill people. Oh, look at you with all your fancy statistics. You know what? If we're talking about eliminating all risks, cars kill more people than guns do. Do you want to ban all cars now too? Come on, I'm not talking about banning cars or guns here. But if guns were regulated like cars are, you need a title and tag at each point of sale, gun training, written test, a practical test, health requirements, specialty licensing, liability insurance on each gun, and renewals, inspections at intervals, publicly funded awareness and safety campaigns. I can go on forever. Or you could also just shut up. No, because people like yourself know that we pass a lot of very sensible measures to make sure drivers and cars are as safe as possible. When drunk driving became a problem, we tightened DUI regulations and nobody complained about their car freedom being taken away. So why don't we do the same things with guns? Because gun control just doesn't work. Don't you get that? If somebody wants to kill someone, they're always gonna find a way. Thugs love gun control laws. It just makes their jobs easier by disarming the population. The more guns we have and the less regulation, the safer we all are. Actually, it's just the opposite. Countries and states in the US with more guns and weak gun laws have more homicides. Take Japan, for instance. It has almost no guns, very strict gun laws, and almost no gun deaths. And how free are they? Or look at Norway. It has a lot of guns, but very strict gun laws. So you know the result? Very little gun deaths. You see, it's not necessarily about taking your guns away. It's all about stronger gun control. All right, so if gun control worked like you're saying it does, then how do you explain Washington, D.C. and Chicago? They have some of the toughest gun laws in the country, but also some of the highest crime and murder rates. How about that? That's because of weak gun laws in nearby states. Chicago, for example, gets most of its guns from Indiana and Mississippi, states with weak gun legislation. And the same goes for DC. 98% of the guns that are used for crimes come from Virginia and Maryland. Again, states with weak gun regulations. So basically, your point just reinforces the need for stronger federal gun laws. No, it doesn't. You liberals just think you can solve everything through big government and regulation. Some regulation is better than no regulation. But all you want to do is take away our God-given right to have semi-automatic rifles that, yes, are designed to kill large amounts of people at once, but that are fundamental to our freedom. When are you going to realize that everybody needs to take personal responsibility for their own security? Because we all know that the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Not really. Did you know that unarmed people are actually 3 times more likely to successfully stop an attacker than just a random good guy with a gun? Says who? The liberal media? No, the FBI. They issued a report stating that random dudes with guns only stopped 4% of mass shootings. And how about all the law enforcement officials that have said that armed citizens do more harm than good in an emergency situation? Because most of them just don't have the years of rigorous training and experience to stop a mass shooter. Yeah. The point is that Dylan Roof guy and all those other crazy killers are just a few bad apples. The problem here is mental illness, not gun control. While mental illness is a problem, only about 3 to 5% of violent acts are attributable to serious mental illness, and most of them don't even involve guns. And those few bad apples and the nut jobs and the criminals and the gangs aren't even one of the main drivers of gun violence. Shockingly, arguments that end up escalating between everyday people result in twice as many homicides as felonies and gang violence. Whatever. I'm just a freedom-loving, law-abiding citizen who uses the 8 guns in our home, which is the average for a gun owner like me, to protect my property and keep my family safe. God, you just don't get it. But guns are almost never used for self-defense. All they do is increase your chances of killing someone or being killed. Did you know that for every criminal killed in a self-defense incident, 34 innocent people are killed? Oh, so now you think your facts and logic can fool me? Thank God that we have more guns per capita than Yemen. That's a war zone. Your point? And that the 80 million gun owners in this country and their 310 million guns can stand against Obama and people like you who are threatening to strip us of our God-given Second Amendment right. And you know what? I'm glad I live in a country where my fellow Republicans are there to keep protecting our rights to be free of background checks, gun licenses, trigger lock and storage requirements, and all that oppressive regulation. Yep, they're definitely there. Don't you dare to take away my right to go to a corner shop or to my local Walmart and walk out with an assault weapon and as much ammunition as I damn well please. You can get an assault weapon at Walmart? Because we all know that gun control is not about guns. It's about control, freedom hater. Okay, I'm used to it by now. Call me a freedom hater all day. But I just think that your right to own a gun shouldn't take priority over everybody else's right to not be shot by a gun. Right? No. Just don't come knocking on my door when ISIS takes over. Okay, people, now let's get real. Most countries that have experienced a mass shooting have changed their gun laws in response. The exception to this rule has been America. We regulate a woman's uterus more than we regulate firearms. Even though we all know that gun violence is caused by a lot of other factors too, like poverty, inequality, and so on, gun laws play a huge role too. What we need is common sense federal gun control. I'm talking about background checks, gun licenses, storage requirements, waiting periods, and mandatory training on how to use a gun before you're actually able to buy a gun. I mean, most of us know that no amount of gun control is suddenly going to make all gun violence disappear. We'll probably still have mass shootings and homicides, but that number can drop significantly because continuing on the path we're on is literally bullshit. All right, everyone, I'm Elise. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this video, if you think it's important, please share it. Comment below, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Mwah, bitch.
Damn.